I have aspirations to do off-camera stuff too. So I want to direct, I want to produce, I want to create.
If you only see Will Moreno or Billy Soto or Phoenix and not the actor who brought those guys to life, then Laz Alonso is doing his job. The Howard University grad wants to melt inside of every role he does. Even friends and family sometimes don't realize that the baddie in the movie they just watched was someone they've known since forever, and that's exactly how he loves it. He had a major breakout in 2009 in James Cameron's Avatar, which until recently was the highest grossing film of all time, and his Hollywood hustle hasn't slowed down since. The second season of his Amazon series, The Boys, is currently streaming, and soon we'll see him in action in Guy Ritchie's latest, We Chat.
Everyone started in New York doing theater. And so, I didn't know how to pursue this. That's the whole thing is they never, whenever you pursue this business, they never teach you how. And that's what I did. I decided, okay, how can I use this degree to get a job in a place where I can do theater and still pay the bills? I'll work on Wall Street. Why not?
Yeah.
It was that simple. Now, when I got to Wall Street, that's when life hit me in the face. And I was working 90 hours a week. I would come in on a Monday and not go home till Wednesday, still wearing the same clothes, sleeping under my desk, and working all day, all night. And I was like, okay, I will never be an actor if I keep this career.
Right.
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
And so I did, and struggled, and was eating top ramen and can of soup.
No.
But, here we are. So that's how that kind of happened. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you first told the family that you were going to no longer work on Wall Street and instead were going to pursue this who knows what's going to happen career in Hollywood, what was their reaction?
Woo. So I did it in stages.
Okay.
So the first stage was telling my mom.
Yeah.
I had to break it to my mom. And I waited until I booked a play. And then I invited my mom up from DC to come to New York to kick it with me for the weekend. And then I invited her to go see this play. And when we got to the play, I was starring in the play. Now, of course, it was supposed to be a surprise, which, ultimately it was, but all my boys were there, all my friends. Half the Black Box Theater was there for me. And they all know my mom. Everybody was making noise. It was just a fiasco. I couldn't get my lines out because they were yelling over my lines. Yo, Laz, hey, Julie. They were going nuts. But that was how I broke it to my mom.
Yeah.
So after the play, and we were all hanging out outside on the sidewalk. Everybody had their cars parked outside, music blasting and acting a fool.
Yeah.
On the way home, my mom said, I believe in you. I trust your vision, but let's keep this our secret. I support you, go for it, but this is between me and you. Don't tell the family yet.
I love that.
Yeah.
So the thing that I have learned over the years is that people who went to Howard University love telling you that they went to Howard University, and that is not shade. That is me recognizing and appreciating the pride that you guys have. That said, what's in the water? Because normally we could talk about all the great performing arts talent that comes out of Howard, which is amazing, and yourself obviously included. But now we also have a vice presidential nominee who also is a Howard University alum. What's happening at Howard University?
I am a HBCU advocate. What I always tell young African Americans who are considering what to do next from high school and they're trying to figure out if they should go to a HBCU, what I tell them is this, is that for 4 years out of your life, and now, looking at your poster appropriately behind you with Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in peace, who's also a Howard alumnus.
Yeah.
For 4 years out of your life, you are in a place where you don't have to defend your Blackness. You don't have to answer to your Blackness. Your Blackness cannot be used against you. For 4 years out of your life, you focus on nothing but being the absolute best that you can be and developing yourself with no type of racial bias or prejudice held against you. And it is amazing when you're in that environment, the things that you can cultivate.
Did you start doing anything in the performing arts space at Howard while you were there, or not so much?
No, I didn't. I was a serial businessman at Howard.
Okay.
Yeah, I owned a rose delivery business.
Okay.
Rose and candies and roses delivery business.
Okay.
I had a couple of convenience stores on campus. I had my own, computer fixing business. I just had businesses. I was a serial businessman. Yeah. I thought I was going to be, on that tip for the rest of my life, even though acting was my passion and it's what I wanted to do. Yeah. Business is how I was making it through Howard.
So you were a hustler in college. How was that translated into your hustle in Hollywood? Because I feel like there must be a direct correlation in some way, right?
Yeah, no, it hasn't ended. I mean, this business is a hustle. Mm. And you can't just do one thing. Like, I'm always pitching ideas and pitching shows and writing shows and talking to people. And, so I don't limit myself as just being on camera. I have aspirations to do off camera stuff too. So I want to direct, I want to produce, I want to create, seeing a show like The Boys and being part of the process from day one and seeing it explode the way it has, it inspires me. It inspires me, and I learn and I absorb how these people, how Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, it started off them reading the comics. Yeah. And then taking the comics someplace, and they bought into it, and they never did nothing with it, and they got the rights back, and now they took it someplace else. And that whole story, to me, is just tremendously inspirational.
What made you say this is something that you wanted to be a part of?
I love the description of Mother's Milk. I love that the first line that describes him is, he's the smartest member of the boys. And that to me was very important. Because when you look at this character, how it's depicted in the comics, and that was intentional. I got the opportunity to talk to Garth Ennis, the creator of the comics. Mm-hmm. And he said, he wanted people to look at Mother's Milk, see how he's built, see how he looks, and judge a book by its cover until he opens his mouth. Mm-hmm. And then you realize that he's smarter than everybody in the room. And so that's what attracted me to this character, is that this right here is his strongest muscle. Yeah. I feel like being able to now take this narrative off a comic book page and bring it to life, we have to see, how different he is from some of the other boys. Yeah. And they've lost any sense of family. Well, Mother's Milk still has that. Mm. And he can't be an absentee father to be a member of the boys. His daughter has to be the most important thing that keeps him sane and connected to the real world.
When you walk in a room, people see how beautiful you are and how the physical specimen that you are, but you also are a guy who worked on, Wall Street and finance, and you have quite the brain that it's unfair because you can both act and do number stuff. Also, I know that, your career trajectory, you have kind of spent making sure that you find characters that don't necessarily fall into stereotypical spaces too. And that seems to be something that's really important to you.
First of all, thank you for the compliments. I will graciously accept them. Thank you. And I'm humbled by them. Thank you so much. Where the physicality did hinder me was in the very beginning of my career. Because when I was auditioning to be sidekick roles to a white lead, you have no idea how many times I got that call that said, he looks too good to be the sidekick. And he would outshine our lead, or even his acting is too strong. He would overpower the lead. I believe that as actors, we have a job too. Our job is not just to take what's given to us, memorize lines, and spit them out on camera. That's not doing your job. That's just being a robot. Doing your job is really finding out how to make this character so unique that when this particular movie or TV show is being played in Wisconsin, they don't look and say, all Black men are like that. Mm. That's on me.
Yeah.
Is to make that character so unique that it's only that character.
Right.
That is like that, not a broad stroke. Oh, that's just all Black people. Mm. And I took that very, very personal. Like that to me was a mission, was I have to make each and every character so distinct, so different, so unique, and so specific that when people watch this, they don't just blanket, my entire race as, there's Black guys again robbing somebody. No.
Yeah.
This particular thief, he's going to rob somebody because that's what's scripted.
Yeah.
But it was a collaboration with directors and with writers. I have an idea. What if we did this, or what if we did that, or what if we added this, or what? To the point where by the time it gets on screen, it's so specific.
Yeah.
That you've never seen anything like that. And one of the best compliments that I get is when people don't know that was me that played this particular role or that role. Fast and Furious, I have friends that to this day are like, I had no idea that was you.
And have you gone into rooms and said, hey, why not make this person this?
If I can show a different side to a detective, I've worked on series, like I did a series with Megan Good called Deception.
Yeah.
That character originally was not written to be Latin. Mm. And, the writer, she thought it would be cool. She, when she found out that I was fully fluent in Spanish, she asked me, she said, would you mind if we made him Latin? I said, are you kidding me? I would love to do that.
Yeah.
And so now I'm playing a little bit to, both communities, my, Afro-Latino community as well as my African-American community. And I can bring both cultures together.
Up next on Another Act, funny man Lamorne Morris.